verse 17, உள்ளது 40 அனுபந்தம், supplement to 40 verses on reality given to us by Sri Ramana Maharshi. பூபரம் தாங்க இறை போலியுயிர் தாங்களது கோபுரம் தாங்கி உருக்கோரணி கான் மாபரம் கொள் வண்டி செலுவான் சுமையை வண்டி வையாது தலை கொண்டு நலி கொண்டதவர்கோது. This verse is about surrender. This is about surrendering the psychological sense of I that we have, what is called ego or ahankaram. We have already seen it that one only exists. It appears as God, world and the individual human being. So the individual human being is not an absolute human being. He is dependent on something else. What is called reflected consciousness. Right now what you are is Chidabhasan or reflected consciousness. Consciousness that is borrowed from some other source. Say you are the moon. Right now who you are is the moon. You have no original light of your own to shine forth. You are shining forth in the borrowed light of the sun. The same way, the individual human being has consciousness which is derived from the original consciousness called Brahman or Atman. That is the truth. So here he says, the entire burden of existence is being carried by God, he says. The entire burden of the whole existence is being carried by God. That being so, if an individual human being thinks that he is carrying the whole world on his shoulders, he says it is equal to, if you go to temples in India, you will see huge pillars. At the bottom of the pillars, you will see human-like and animal-like creatures, holding the pillars on their shoulders. Actually, the pillars are standing independent of those images, stone images. Whereas the stone images think that the entire building rests on my shoulders. The same way, an individual thinks that I am responsible for this existence world. He says, after all, it is God who created the world, Ishvara. He is carrying all the burdens. So Bhagavan suggests that you also heap all your burdens upon him. He says he has the capacity to carry all your burdens. So பூபரம் தாங்க இறை போலியுயிர் தாங்களது கோபுரம் தாங்கி உருக்கோரணிகான் மாபரம் கொள் வண்டி செலுவான் சுமையை வண்டி வையாது தலை கொண்டு நலி கொண்டதவர்கோது. You are traveling on a train and on sitting on the chair inside the train, you carry your suitcase on your head. He says it is equal to that. If you carry your heavy suitcase on your head sitting on the train and you think you don't want to burden the train, how stupid it is. After all, it is a train which carries you along with your luggage. So when it can carry you, can't it carry the luggage? That's what he means. So this is about reducing the ego, the psychological sense of I. Some people are puffed up in their life because of the early development of low self-esteem in their lives. This is psychology, right? Everybody knows. If a child is deprived of love in the early stages of life, naturally they tend to develop insecurity and low self-esteem. And this phenomenon sometimes turns them out to be, the toughest people who can break the entire earth. People become very negative and very dominant. Or alternatively, they become vegetables, good for nothing. They lose their sanity too sometimes. This is the truth. So this psychological sense of I is the enemy to self-realization. The Advaita Vedanta says one only exists. What? The entire physical universe that you see is being pervaded and percolated by only one Brahman, one Atman. It gives rise to all the multiplicity. from human beings to animals to plants to the sky to stars, etc., whatever is there in the universe is none but Brahman. It is Brahman's own mischief. And the entire universe is like the cinema show appearing on the screen of consciousness that you are. Because Brahman is fundamentally existence, consciousness, bliss. Existence is not existing objects. That which gives rise or that which gives birth to all the physical objects in the universe is existence. And as an individual, we have knowledge and ignorance. What underlies all that knowledge and ignorance is this knowledge principle. Fundamental knowing. Not knowing any object, just knowing itself, you can say. So, existence, consciousness and bliss is our nature. Right. That being so, all the scriptures, they have said so many things so that we can realize our true nature. Our true nature is formless, infinite. Right now, when, already, always. So there is something which comes in between, that is the veil, that is the psychological sense of I, that is the bodily sense of I we have. That is called ego in the parlance of Advaita Vedanta. This bodily sense of I is needed for survival. Yes, we need sensibility, we need bodily sense of I. If a mosquito bites, you are not going to give kiss to the mosquito. You are going to either remove it or beat it. Same way someone comes to hurt you, you are going to defend yourself. This is needed for survival. If you are inclined towards self-realization, then lock, stock and barrel, you have to remove the engine of psychology from you. If you go to a garage, give you a car for engine repair, they'll remove the engine. The same way, we can remove the psychology machine from us and just be. So, Atma minus mind is Atma. Atma plus mind is mind. That is the truth. So, a sense of humility, Sri Bhagavan would often say, sometimes failure is good too. Because if you are full of success, you will be puffed up. Right? You will reel under, pride. So, not that everyone has to fail. If you have intellectual honesty, if you have neutral psychology is what? Understanding things as they are instead of having distorted perceptions. So if you have neutral psychology, we will appreciate this truth that we are Brahman. Because so many sages, Upanishads have said it. Recently Sri Bhagavan came and he said it. 54 years he sat in one place teaching the one truth that he himself experienced at an early age of 16. So we are Brahman. Aham Brahmasmi. Tattvamasi. That thou art is the truth. As it is said in Bhagavad Gita, Nasato vidyate bhavo, na bhavo vidyate sataha. Truth never becomes falsehood and falsehood never becomes truth. That is the case. Sometimes, as an individual, we tend to think that we are alone responsible for the happenings in our life. Although, as per Advaita Vedanta, we happen according to our prarabdha karma, the software that have brought in, the net result that has arisen out of our good deeds and bad deeds in previous lives and in this birth, according to that only life happens. But Sri Bhagavan says, if it is a software, why don't you delete the software? This psychological sense of I with all the memories is a software file. He says remove it by inquiry. To whom is this software? If you inquire, it will go and subside in the source. Then you will be left not with the software but the pure awareness, Satchit Anandam, existence, consciousness, bliss that we are. So, prayer is good. That is why man has come to pray. Because man, when he is buffeted by hardships, he has to look for something higher. Because he cannot give an explanation to his own existence. He cannot comprehend it fully. There is a cause which underlies the existence of the body. It cannot stop with, parental genes. It goes beyond that. If it is parental genes, who gave the genes of those parents, and so on. We can go on, regressing infinitely. So there is something which underlies the whole existence, including the body, human body, your body, my body. That is Brahman, that is formless. So thought is all about form. All thoughts are about form, either this body or a gadget or the sky, whatever. You subtract it from our consciousness. What remains is only consciousness. So it is ridiculous to think that we are the biggest person. It's an error. It is not truth. If it were to be true, we can accept it, but it is not true. After all, you are yourself as an individual dependent on something else. That is the truth. You say I am conscious. Advaita Vedanta says it is reduced consciousness. It is not original consciousness. It is the moonlight. That is the sun. And because of the sunlight, the moon shines forth. So we need to understand this and then modify our ego progressively by spiritual reasoning. Who am I? Am I this body alone? This verse says, if you go to a temple, the stone images, they think that they carry the entire burden of the building, whereas the pillar carries. It is just for fun that they make such images like gargoyles. They just they are made like this, as if they held the entire structure of the building. So he says Ishvara is running the show. The man, big man who created the entire universe, he is running the show. The entire burden is his of running the entire universe. It is not yours, he says. So first resign from the general manager of the universe position. And then while sitting inside the train on the seat, do not carry the suitcase on your head. He says, keep it down. The train can carry. This is the bhakti approach, where we think that there is a higher power and you surrender unconditionally. Because if you existed independent of God, independent of the higher power, then you can have all the pride, when that is not the truth. Humility and neutrality of psychology is the only way. Let us think about it.